Can somebody unmute and tell me if the presentation is visible? Can you tell me if the presentation is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So design a Turing machine to recognize this language. Okay. So this is equal number of ones. Yesterday we did 0 power n, 1 power n, equal number of zeros followed by equal number of ones. And this is equal number of ones followed by equal number of twos and followed by equal number of threes. And this uses a completely different logic than what we used yesterday. For example, yesterday what we did was, in this case, when I see the leftmost 0, I would replace it by an x and move. And when I get a leftmost 1, I'll replace it by y and move. Then I'll come back again and I'll replace it by x. And I'll continue this until this becomes like this. In which case, we have written the design such that the string is accepted. Now, why do I even need to replace it by x and y? Just to remember that I have seen it. Right? To remember, because we do not have a stack here. I have to remember that I have seen it. So, to remember I have seen it, I am going to change the form. Right? It's like a sign I am giving to myself, or Turing machine is giving to itself to tell it has seen. Today we are not going to use the similar. Can we use the similar logic for this? Of course you can use the similar logic for this. Like if I have equal number of ones followed by equal number of twos followed by equal number of threes, who is stopping me from continuing the same logic? I can definitely do that, isn't it? I can do that. But today we'll see a different logic. Okay. We'll see a different logic. We'll not use the replacement of it's a replacement of symbols, but not by another symbol. But what we are going to do today is to replace it by blank. So if you have, let us say, equal number of ones followed by equal number of twos followed by equal number of threes. So what is the solution that we are going to design? So in yesterday's video also you must have seen that the first step before we actually design the Turing machine is to evolve a procedure, right? Evolve a procedure in mind to accept a particular string which belongs to that language. And then write the transition. Yesterday we did transition diagram. Today we'll do transition table. Anyway, you can convert one to another if it's asked in the exam. Okay. So let us evolve a procedure for this. So let us say in step 1, obviously if this is W, I'm going to start from here. And I will always start going through the string or checking the string from some state. So let us call that as an initial state. Let us say Q1 is initial state. Okay. Let us say Q1 is our initial state. After this, the read and write head will scan this one. This is the leftmost one, right? So read and write head scans leftmost one. Once it scans the leftmost one, yesterday I said we will replace that one by X and move towards right. Okay. Here what we'll do is slightly different logic. Replace 1 by blank. Okay. I'll use B to represent a blank. So replace 1 by blank and move right. And move right. And in yesterday class, I told you that whenever we make a substantial difference, right? For example, here we replaced 1 by something and also moved right. So this is a substantial change. So you change the state, okay? And after moving right, you change the state to Q2. Okay, so what we did was we removed this one, we converted this into blank, right? We started with Q1 and now we will move towards this with Q2. All right. So in step 2, if it's just 1, we are just going to move right. Okay, we are just going to keep on moving right until we get leftmost 2. Okay, leftmost 2. So I will write when you are in state Q2. So on scanning, leftmost 2. Here we did leftmost 1, leftmost 2. Again we'll use the same logic. That is, replace this 2 again by blank. Okay, we'll replace this 2 also by a blank. And we'll move towards right. And move right. Again, this is a substantial change, isn't it? You replaced 2 by blank and you are moving towards right. So now you again change the state to Q3. You change the state to Q3. Okay. Now, once you change the state to Q3 here, when you have Q3, if you get 2, just move right until you get the leftmost 3. Okay. So this is going to be my step 3 in design. That is, on scanning, leftmost 3. Again, we'll apply the same logic. That is, we'll replace 3 by B. B means blank, right? So we'll replace 3 by blank and move towards right. I know some of you are thinking, why not move towards left? We did that yesterday. So here it's a separate logic. You can even do it by moving towards left also. Okay. This is just one logic. You can design it using your own logic also. By like replacing it by X, Y, Z also you can do. So you change the state to Q4. So when I'm in Q4, I would have seen matching 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So I have replaced it by blank and I have moved to Q4. And as we know, every string begins and ends with a blank, right? So when you are at Q4, okay, let us say you are at Q4. And these steps, step 1 and step 2 and step 3. Actually, when you are at Q4, you will come till here. And when you get a blank, you will start moving towards left. Okay. So basically, after doing that, step 4, that is, as I said, after you come to the rightmost 3, I will start moving towards left, isn't it? So when I come to the rightmost 3, I will start moving towards left in search of this leftmost 1. So after scanning rightmost 3, and that I will do when I am in state Q4, right? After scanning rightmost 3, you move towards left until till when I'll just go on moving towards left until I come to this leftmost 1, right? You move left until you find leftmost 1. Until you find leftmost 1. Okay. So once you come to leftmost 1, it is again same, right? When you find the leftmost 1, you will again go back to state Q1 and you will repeat these things again and again. All right. So you can call it as step 5, right? So step 1 through 4 are repeated until all ones, twos, threes are replaced by blank. are replaced by the blank. Okay. So for this, I have to now develop a transition table. Okay. So let us write the transition table. And let us go on developing other things which we haven't mentioned in step 1 through 5. So in transition table, in row usually we'll have the states. So right now I know only Q1, so let me write Q1. Okay, and maybe Q2 in the design I have mentioned, and also Q3 and Q4, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, you can see here Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. 4 we have mentioned. If we require more than that, we'll come back and write it as we develop the design. Okay. So let me write Q1. Q1 is my starting state, right? Write Q2 and Q3 and Q4. So far we know this. Let us see where the final state will be developed. And what will come in the column? In the column we'll have tape symbols, right? So in the column you will have input tape symbols. So what are the tape symbols now? In the logic that we derived earlier, we have 1 in the tape, we have 2 in the tape, we have 3 also in the tape, and we have blank in the tape, right? So these are my tape symbols. So let me just show you here. We'll take a simple one, small ones like this, okay? So if this is my W, I told you we'll start at Q1 with Q1. When you are in Q1 and you get the leftmost one, what did I say we'll do? I said we'll convert it into a blank. So when you are in Q1 and you get a 1, you will make it as a blank. After doing it as a blank, to which direction you have to move? You have to move towards right. Correct? And I told you, since it's a substantial difference, we are going to change the state to Q2. Correct? So that means here state will be Q2. I hope this is clear. Right? Now, if you get 1 on Q2, what you should do? In Q2, your aim is to find the leftmost 2, isn't it? See here, the logic we developed is on scanning leftmost 2. Q1 was initial and you change it to Q2. And when you are in Q2, your aim is to find the leftmost 2. Okay. So if you get a 1, what will you do? You will do no changes to it. 1 you will keep as it is. This 1 you are making no changes. You will keep it as it is. You will just move right in search of 2. So you are going to move right in search of 2. Okay. Now, once you get the leftmost 2 here, you are in Q2 and you get the leftmost 2. So if you get leftmost 2, what will you do? I told you, isn't it? If you get a leftmost 2, you convert it into blank, right? So this 2 is converted into blank. After converting it into blank, you will again move towards right, isn't it? In search of a 3. So you move towards right in search of a 3. So this is again you have replaced 2 by blank. So I'll change the state to Q3. Okay, change the state to Q3. So when I come here, it's state Q3. When you are in Q3, if you get 2, you shouldn't do anything. You just move towards right in search of a 3. So when you are in state Q3, if you get 2, just keep it as 2 only. Don't make any changes to 2. You move towards right, in search of in search of 3. So when you are in Q3, and let us say you get 3, what will you do now? You are going to change it into a blank, right? So this 3 will be changed into a blank. So for 3 you will write, I'll change it into a blank. After that I said we'll move in search of the rightmost 3, isn't it? in search of rightmost 3. So I'm going to move towards right and change the state to Q4. Okay. So in Q4, illi ಒಂದೇ 3 ಇದೆ. But imagine if I had 4 3s. I made this as blank, right? After making this as blank, I said this is Q4. I have to, if I get a 3 also, I should move till I get the rightmost 3. How do I know this is the rightmost 3? Because after that a blank is there. Okay. So in Q4, if you get 3, you will not make any changes to that 3. All right. So if you get a 3 in Q4, what will you do? You have to move towards left. Okay. We can either go till here and move towards left, or like we did yesterday, on getting the right 3 after you made it as a blank, two choices. Okay, we'll take the easy route. So if you are in Q4 and you get a 3, that means I have to move towards left. So I will retell this once more. Okay, I'll tell this once more. There are 2 options, 2, 3, 4 options actually. What we'll do is, after making this as blank, just give me a second. Slow. Okay. Let me write it as 3. Let me write it as 3, 3 and blank. So what we did was, when we were in Q3, on getting this 3, we converted this into blank and we moved towards right to Q4. Okay. So let me keep the logic a little simple like yesterday only, without overcomplicating. What I'll do is, Q4 on 3 if I get, of course I'll not make any changes because I already made change to 1, 3. So I'll keep it as it is. I'll move towards left in search of Q1. Okay, I mean sorry, 1, in search of 1. So I'll move towards left, and because it is a return journey, I'll give it as a state Q4. Okay, I'll make it as a state Q5. I change the state to Q5. So let us say now we have a state Q5. Okay, let me write it here. I had the first one which I converted it into blank. First one was converted into blank. Then I had one more 1. First 2 was converted into blank. I had one more 2. First 3 was converted into blank. I had one more 3. And I am coming back, and this is my state Q5. Okay. So when you are in Q5, if you get a blank, obviously you will get a blank because we just made this into a blank, isn't it? So if you get a blank, we'll not change anything. Let it be a blank, and I'm just trying to move towards left. Okay. I move towards left. Now, if you get a 2, again I'm in search of 1, you remember. So in Q5, what did I do? I should have written it here, right? Just a minute. I missed a column. So I should have written it for Q5. So when you are in Q5, if you get a blank, just move towards left. And when you move towards left in Q5, you might get 2. So here, 2, right? If you get a 2 also, don't change 2, just move towards left. Okay. So again, if this is blank, we already written, come towards left. And if you get 1, right? If you get 1, so what will I do now? If I get a 1, I'm in search of 1, you remember? But I might have multiple ones. Ill one there, but I might have multiple ones, correct? So if I get this 1 also, I should keep on moving left. But now I remember that I have got a 1. So to remember that I got a 1, my place for searching, I'll make the state change to Q6. Okay. So now let us take the state Q6. Because ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಇದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ we were in Q5. I got a 1, right, from Q5. I'm not doing any changes to it, but I know it's 1, so I may move the change the state to Q6. So if I get Q6 and 1, again I have to move towards left itself. So on Q6, if you get 1, no, don't change it, just move towards left. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ತಾನೆ, ಗಜ ಬಜ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ Q5 ಇತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಮೂವ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ್ಲೂ Q5 ಇತ್ತು, ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ನ್ಯೂ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ 1, ಯು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು Q6. Q6 on 1, again you move left only, Q6. Again 1, you move towards left, Q6. Now where have I reached? I have reached this blank. Okay. So Q6 on blank, what I should do? I won't change blank, but ಇಲ್ಲಿ blank ಇದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 1 ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 1 ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಾನೆ. So I should move towards right and change the state to Q1. ಯಾಕೆ state to Q1? Because again same thing will repeat ತಾನೆ. I have again got the Q1. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ I have got 1 in my string, left most 1 in my string. Okay, ಈಗ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್. ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ? ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 1 to blank, first 2 to blank, and first 3 to blank. These 3 have been converted. Okay, ಸೊ ಅದು 3 ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಹೊಸ 1 ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ 1 ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಅಟ್ Q1. ಸೊ ಇದು ಬರ್ದಾಯ್ತು. ನಾವು ಏನು 1 ಇದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟು Q2. Q2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಟು Q2. Q2ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ಡ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದೆ Q2. Q2 on 2 ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಬರ್ದಿದೀವಿ ತಾನೆ. This 2 is converted into blank. You move towards right and state is Q3. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಇದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬರ್ದಾಗಿದೆ. Q3 on 2 ನು ಬರ್ದಾಯ್ತು. You just move right. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Q3. But Q3 on blank ಗೆ we haven't written. So blank ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. You just move towards right. No other change. Okay? You just move towards right. No other change. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? Q3 ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಅ 3. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? 3 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಇದನ್ನ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟು Q4. ಓಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ Q4 ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ವಿ. Q4 ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ 3 ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ, ಅದೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ Q4 ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ 3 ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್? The meaning is you have to move towards left with Q5. Correct alva? So Q5 ಗೆ already we have written everything. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? 2 ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So we already know if I get 1, then I'll go to this blank which is before this 1 and I'll change the state to Q6. Correct? Q6 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಏನಿದ್ರೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ವಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಅಗೇನ್ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಈ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್, ಯು ಸೇ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ Q1. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೀರೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಈಗ ಎರಡೆರಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎರಡು 1 ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ 1 ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 2 ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 3 ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ರೈಟ್? So you are just left with 1 1 1 2 1 3 and I am here again with Q1. Okay, so Q1 ಗೆ 1 ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ರೈಟ್ Q2. So blank right Q2. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Q2 ಗೆ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ದಿದೀವಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ Q2 ನೇ ರೈಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Q2 ಗೆ 2 ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Q2 ಗೆ 2 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ 2 ಆಸ್ blank, move right with Q3 ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Q3 ಗೆ blank ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ Q3. ಅಗೇನ್ ಐ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ Q3. ಈಗ Q3 ಗೆ 3 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ Q4. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ರೀರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲದು ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ blank and currently I am here. It's not letting me write the last B. Okay, I am at that last B and I am at state Q4. ಈಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ Q4 ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನನೂ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ 3 ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್. ಇವಾಗ 3 ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ 3. ವೆನ್ ಐ ಮೂವ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ blank, correct? So I have to write what to do for that option. Okay, so I have which state now? I made this blank and I got Q4 and Q4 on no wait which one? Yeah, Q3 and I made this as a blank and I moved towards right and I made Q4. Okay, so Q4 on blank, what to do? We haven't written Q4 on blank. So if there is a Q4 on blank, it means what? Illi nodi ashtu khali agide anta tane, right? Since everything is done, if at all it's blank, let us say we move towards left with Q7. That means now there are no more 3s anta gottayitu. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ 1 2 ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್ 3s ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ಐ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟು Q7. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ Q7 is my acceptance state. If I go to Q7, then it is my acceptance state. Okay, so now let us take some examples and actually write down. Okay, illeno bitte alla blank r Q1 movement ge. So let us take an example and use this table and trace how it's accepting or rejecting some string. So let us take Q1 1 1 2 2 3 3. Idu accept agbekalva, because it is equal number of 1s 2s and 3s. So Q1 on 1 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, you get a blank, correct? Blank ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ you change the state to Q2 and move towards right. So I am left with this much. Next Q2 on 1, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ Q2 on 1, you keep it as 1, move towards right and it's still Q2. So 1 ಏನು change ಆಗಲ್ಲ, right side ಗೆ Q2 ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So we are in this condition now. Q2 on 2, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ Q2 on 2. 2 is replaced by a blank, correct? So 2 is replaced by a blank. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ right side ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ Q3 state. So now I am at Q3 2 3 3. Q3 on 2, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ you keep it 2 itself, just move right. So B1 B2 Q3 3 3, right? Next Q3 on 3. So you'll notice Q3 on 3. Make it into blank, move towards right and change the state to Q4. So B1 B2 hinge ittu. E3 you are converting it into blank. You are moving right and taking the state as Q4. So you have this Q4 and 3, correct? So ivaga, right, we have moved towards Q4 and 3. So Q4 and 3 ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, Q4 and 3 ಗೆ you move towards left, correct? Keep 3 as 3 only, move towards left and change the state to Q5. So ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, blank 1 blank 2, ಇಲ್ಲಿ move towards left, correct? To Q5. So B1, B2, Q5, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ B ಮತ್ತೆ 3. ಓಕೆ, ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ Q5 on blank. Q5 on blank ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ? So keep it as blank only, but move towards left. Correct? So I won't change anything. I'm moving towards left. So this will become B1, B, Q5, 2, B and 3. Now what about Q5 on 2? See here, Q5 on 2 also don't change 2, just move towards left. So it will become B1, Q5, B2, B3. Right? Now Q5 on blank already we saw. Just move towards left. Alva? So moving towards left andre it will come before 1. Right? So it will be blank Q5, 1, B, 2, B, 3. Okay. Now what about Q5 on 1? What about Q5 on 1? So Q5 on 1 again ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. Q5 on 1 ಇಲ್ಲಿ keep 1 as it is, move left and make the state to Q6. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 as it is ಇರುತ್ತೆ, you move left with Q6. So I'll get Q6 blank 1 blank 2 blank 3. Okay. Now Q6 on blank. Right? Q6 on blank. So we haven't written it, is it? ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Q6 on blank ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. Q6 on blank is you keep the blank as it is, move right with state Q1. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ Q1 ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. So I have 1 blank 2 blank and 3. So now the same procedure which we followed here will be followed again. Alva? So that means again Q1 on 1, right? So if you have Q1 on 1, what will happen? It will be a blank. So I have 2 blanks now. Then Q2, B2, B3. Q2 on B2 will move here, right? And then it will move here. So blank, blank, right? And then see 1, 2, third blank. And then Q2 moves there, right? Towards right with 2, B and 3. Now Q2 on 2. Q2 on 2 is making it a blank and moving right with Q3. So I have blank, 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 blank. Idana blank madidvi. Move towards right with Q3. So Q3 blank and 3. What about Q3 and blank? Just move right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks. Q3 on 3. Q3 on 3 is change it into blank, move right with Q4. So I have to make this into blank. So totally I now have 6 blanks, 3, 4, 5 and 6 blanks, and change the state to Q4. Okay. And Q4 on blank, illi Q4 on blank is move towards left, right? And change the state to Q7, correct? So allige ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then move towards left, Q7 on blank. Okay. Ultimately we'll stop here because Q7 ಇಂದ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವು transitions ಅನ್ನ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, and this string will be accepted because Q7 is a final state. Okay.